Welcome into the TexAgs Rewind. My professional career, I said that weird, has gone from traveling on team planes, going to the White House, to being hit in the face by a banana. Hello, ladies. You're back here on Friday. Dalton threw a fastball and hit me in the nose.
He did.
Yes,
this
he
thing
did.
whacked you.
Yeah. And there was a moment, somebody on the chat said it was like Chris Rock. Like I kept my composure and I finished.
I thought you were going to
did.
leave the desk and go
really
beat someone up.
genuinely
For
thought
a
you were
second.
There was a moment, but what good would it have done? It wouldn't have done good. But you guys, well, you didn't. I'm sorry for telling me, but you had a lot of fun.
I did.
Were you hanging out with Morgan Wallen? What's up with your friends?
No, I was hanging out with Taylor Swift at Energy Stadium on Saturday.
How far were your seats?
My nose was bleeding.
Okay.
But that's okay.
She could hear you singing?
No. But my entire section could. And that's why my voice sounds
Okay.
like
Sounds
this
like
right now.
this.
Great show?
The most fantastic show I've ever been to.
Oh,
It's going to top her wedding day,
It
apparently.
really will.
And then she got me a shirt.
How
I
sweet
got
is
her
that?
shirt.
She's a great
Good friend.
Those have got to be at least $50.
Yeah.
That had to be like
I don't want to
$1,000.
know
This
how much
was
that
pretty.
was.
I mean, they were pretty expensive, but shout out Tracy Cavan.
Hey,
my
have
mother.
you figured out what word you're going to use today?
No, I haven't. I mean, right.
Hey, say a random word right now. Go.
Nederland.
Okay, I think you should use that.
Nederland.
How the heck are you going to do that?
All
I
right.
don't know.
So do you know what we're talking about?
No, I have no clue.
I'm going to be on KBTX to 3 today, and I said I would work in a word or a sentence or something in the show that people suggested. And the initial one was, what was
Squash.
it? Squash.
No, that's too easy.
Nederland.
Nederland is
Nederland.
difficult.
I ain't from Nederland.
But Brian Brauninger is.
But I'm
You can
not.
talk about it.
I can say that, though.
Or Hayden Hefner. Or you could do something.
Yeah, I'll figure out something.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I failed. And that's
You
okay.
did.
I'm
And
allowed
that's
to
okay.
fail.
It's okay.
All right, we had a rewind show today, or we had a show, and now the rewind's going to cover that show. And on that show, what do we have? I don't even remember what we had. We had Billy Liucci on the program, so thank you, Billy, for doing
Yeah,
the show.
Billy. Whoa.
Thank you. Oh, can you do that for everybody we talked about? We had OB, he's back.
Olin. Whoa.
Coach Schloss is on the show,
Schloss. Whoa.
and Bronny.
Oh, the silence is loud.
How did we all know to be silent on that one?
That's tough.
It's the rewind. I'm never going to complain about winning 2 out of 3 when you're still struggling to get good starting pitching.
Here's the deal. I was trying to keep up with the game as we were driving home yesterday, and I was disappointed because it's frustrating. Looked like as I was trying to keep up with on TexAgs thread, and it looked like, especially early, kept getting guys in scoring position and just either running yourself out of it or one thing or after another, and just not getting the big hit when you needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointed. They won 2 out of 3. They won the series for the fourth straight series, and they won it against a ranked opponent on the road.
A ranked opponent with the number 1 RPI in the country. A ranked opponent, if I remember correctly, had lost 1 home game leading into that game.
They went on the road.
On the road and did it. That's right.
So how can you?
Yeah, Kentucky 20-3 at home this season. 2 of those losses to who?
Texas A&M.
Gig them.
How spoiled are you? Look, I get it. You had a chance for the sweep and you get it and you're disappointed. But how spoiled can you be if you're upset that you only took 2 out of 3 on the road against a ranked opponent that rarely loses at home?
So I think the reason we struggle so much with it is because we see, like, in the postseason, you have to have good starting pitching. And you have to have it in SEC play. And somehow, for 2 seasons in a row, they have massaged their way to winning all these, 8 series they won last year? 8 out of the 10 series? Whatever it was. They continue to win series with suspect starting pitching. Last season, there were glimpses from Micah Dallas. There were glimpses from Nathan Dettmer. We're still waiting for this year's ace to give us more than 3 innings of a glimpse.
I think you have to acknowledge it. I mean, it's almost May. There is no ace.
Schloss, last thing for you. Set up the week for us. Obviously, Sam Houston coming up, and then the Arkansas series. And as you mentioned earlier, just you never know what's going to happen in the SEC. Just help us understand the week.
Yeah, maybe you can help me understand the week. A Thursday, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing, having another one of those, boy, that definitely makes you, consider who to use. And Sam Houston's got a really good team, and they always play awesome. At least the times that I've been at A&M or even at TCU. I mean, played them a 22-inning regional game when David Pierce was the coach. So we're going to try to. We'll see how everybody feels. We don't have any practice today, but we'll look at the guys that didn't throw much this weekend, like Sexton and some of those guys, and then some guys we left back. Jaron Warwick's given us a couple good innings. Hogan maybe can give us something, but we'll see what the weather entails as well. But we have to be ready for the weekend. We have to be ready for, because Arkansas, this would be another top 5 team that we've played after they've been swept. And you get swept by Missouri, and then we have to go up there. So I'm sure they'll be loaded for bear. But we'll just attack them one game at a time, and every single game has value all year, but especially as you wind down this back third of the season. We need to figure out a way to get Detmer going. To me, that's the biggest key to our team.
A&M won the series potentially because of Kentucky bunted 3 times in an inning where A&M walked 4 batters. It's going to be hard for me if I'm a really good high school player in that Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville region to want to go play there. In the bottom half of the 9th inning of game 2 of that doubleheader, their leadoff guy got a base hit. So runner on first, no outs. They're down by a run. Hunter Gilliam, who's their best hitter, 10 homers, the only guy they got with real pop in their lineup, he sack bunted. Your best hitter with a chance to win the game with one swing, you sack bunted him. So if I'm a high school kid in that area and I'm a really good player and I'm a good hitter,
I'm not going there.
Why would I want to go play at Kentucky? Look, he's had success. They've got a really good team this year. They may host a regional. I just thought that was bizarre. And Coach Schloss can't say it, but I can.
Let's look at the entire SEC.
A&M walked 4 batters in the inning. And you bunted 3 times and said, here, we're going to let you get us out at first.
I can't imagine a scenario where A&M is doing that with not just their best hitter.
A&M does not sack bunt ever. Right. They had their first one over the course of the weekend. It was actually Austin Boast who got on base. I think it should be ruled a hit. They said you have to judge his intent. His intent was to sacrifice bunt. But I looked at it and said, what if his intent was to bunt for a base hit? It should give him a hit. Anyway, regardless, they counted it as a sack. A&M and the University of Washington were the only 2 teams going into the weekend that hadn't had a sack bunt all year in the country. So that's the exact opposite of what Jim Schlossnagle wants to do.
That's a great home and home.
Yeah.
And and that was the one I was alluding to the other day.
And that'll start 2024, 2025, by the way.
Is it?
That's what it says. Return game. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Return game in College Station.
Yeah.
20. So this year they'll be at
Ohio
Ohio
State. Okay,
Sorry.
that's what I thought. That's good. That'll be a nice true road game to play. Big Ten team. Ohio State, you never know. Like, I know they were down this year, but typically that is a power program out of the Big Ten. That's a really good one. You look at what A&M's played kind of out of conference in the last few years in terms of the major conference teams and not a part of the challenges. Who have they? I'm trying to think of what is it? They played Washington State in the NIT. It was like, Oregon State, teams like that, they're Power 5 conferences, but they're not power programs, let's say. Yeah. I know they had Gonzaga early in Buzz's tenure. Was it the first year? But this is big time, man. Now you start looking at his schedule, and you go a Big Ten, a power program in the Big Ten in Ohio State on the road. You get DePaul here. You get Memphis here, which is obviously more significant than DePaul. I think, would you go to SMU this year? That's a return. That is, I mean, it is. It's a return game. Then you go play that tournament in Orlando. That has, what is it, Penn State, Virginia Tech.
A return to Penn State.
No, it's a tournament.
Yeah,
you could play them.
I
don't know who they play it. But there's some good programs in that one, some teams that are definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament. I think VCU's in that. So you're going to get a couple of games that could really help you there. And then Houston, Kelvin Sampson's built a national power there, and you're playing them neutral site in a town where we talk about Aggies traveling. for a game like that.
You better be there,
There
yeah.
should be a lot of people there in Houston for that. So anyway,